Welcome, everyone. Well, of course, the time is now a little bit past 7 o'clock here in New Delhi, and that means it is 8:30 p.m. Eastern and, of course, 5:30 p.m. Pacific in Los Angeles, where everybody's getting ready for the big Oscars Awards. It is the 89th Annual Academy Award. They have kicked off at the Dolby Theater in Los Angeles. The romantic movie La La Land leads with 14 nominations in the ceremony. It's been nominated for many categories, including Best Picture as well as Best Actor, for its stars Ryan Gosling and Emma Stone. The film is competing with science fi movie Arrival, nominated for 8 categories, the war movie Hacksaw Ridge, the modern western Hell or High Water, and the dramas Manchester by the Sea, Moonlight, Hidden Figures, Lion, and Fences. The Indian origin actor Dev Patel has also been nominated for Best Supporting Actor for his role in the movie Lion. This recognition for the British Indian actor has been of importance as the Oscars has been increasing its nomination list to increase more and more actors of diversity and color.
Boo.
Well, of course, security has been stepped up in and around the Dolby Theater in LA as all the preparations get ready. Hundreds of police and private security personnel have already been deployed. Major streets in and around that area in LA have already been closed, and some of the roads have been blocked because of all the media set up there. Equipment on the Oscars red carpet before Hollywood's biggest night. Now, more than 1,200 media personnel from all around the globe have been credentialed for the 89th Oscars this year. Quite an exciting time happening there in California. Well, hundreds of people, including Hollywood stars, have protested on the eve of Oscar weekend in Beverly Hills just this past Friday. Take a look there. The demonstrations were high, most of that against immigration policies by U.S. President Donald Trump. The protests were organized by one of Hollywood's biggest talent agencies in support of freedom of expression and unity. The rally, organized by the United Talent Agency in place of its annual Oscar party. The Iranian film director Asghar Farhad boycotted the event after Trump's most recent travel policy ban.
It's our time to tell our elected officials.
I want to thank you on behalf of people sitting today in Beirut, in Amman, in Nairobi, people who have been through the vetting process, people who have proved themselves to be victims of war, people who are ready to come to America as refugees, and people who have now been told that what they thought was their future is under threat.
There are hundreds of thousands of jobs in this country that the people that are working there are being threatened today for rendering services and taking jobs that we all assume that they get done magically. So today we have to unite our voices for them.
All right, to get all the latest news from the entertainment world, we have in the studio here author, film critic, and journalist Sen Sharma, all the way from New York to Noida. Thanks so much for joining us, Sen. Pleasure to have you here.
Thank you.
Well, you know, everybody's watching. It's a big excitement. You know, everybody glued to their television. Before we even get to the movies, I want to talk about the political angle of this because, you know, we certainly saw Katy Perry make that statement at the Grammys. We saw Meryl Streep at the Golden Globes. There's sort of a lot of eyes, even on the political front, forget about the entertainment angle. I mean, what do we think may happen in the coming hours?
Well, I think even day before yesterday, there was the Indie Spirits Awards, and there was a lot of political speeches. So, yes, there's, people are going to go political this time, even more than they had gone when Meryl Streep spoke at the Golden Globes, because at that time, the immigration policies of Trump had not been sort of, clarified as such. But we have a much better sense of what he wants to do.
And do you think it's fair, because some people have actually criticized, actors for having an opinion like this and using a public platform like the Golden Globes or the Academy Awards to express their opinion? I mean, what are your thoughts? Should they be using that? And
well, why not? Because actors are also human beings, and they are immigrants, and they have, political leanings in any case. And in this country also, we have actors who are sort of contesting elections and joining various political parties. I think it's good. I think it's good because people listen to actors' voices, first of all, and actors understand that. I mean, Meryl Streep was criticized by Donald Trump, and I'm sure a lot of Republicans, but she knows that her voice carried, her words carried a lot of weight also.
And with regards to what's happening, you know, most recently with what happened to that Indian American there, the whole concern with immigration and jobs, certainly, you know, this is an Oscars or, you know, one of those where there's going to be entertainment, but perhaps entertainment of a different kind. Forget about the movies itself. Just a lot of hot button issues out there for people to sort of weigh in on and, you know, talk about.
And, you know, quite frankly, I mean, there are some people in the Hollywood community also who are Republicans and supporters of Donald Trump, but I think that the majority of them tend to be liberal, tend to be Democrats, and yeah, they'll speak out today. I have a strong gut feeling about that.
Well, you know, it's a little bit past 8:30 on the East Coast, a little bit past 5:30. We just mentioned, so it's getting underway, the ceremony. We'll try to dip in and out when we can, just because of legal issues. We're not allowed to air it. So
right.
Hopefully those people who are watching us instead of the Oscars, we'll give them the news perspective.
Exactly.
But let's talk about the movies now. You know, La La Land, 14 record nominations, quite an interesting mix. It did bag a lot of awards at the Golden Globes. Without going into, you know, we don't know just yet, but what are some of your picks for the best movie for this year?
It's going to be La La Land. I'm definitely sure about it. I think Moonlight is a terrific film. It's a very, very important film. It's the first time a film like that has come out, which looks at the whole idea of masculinity in the African American community. It's a story about a boy who comes out as a gay man. But La La Land is a celebration of Los Angeles. It's a celebration of the musicals that a lot of people in Hollywood, the older community in Hollywood, grew up with. And, you know, we understand musicals very well because Bollywood is
full of musicals.
Full of musicals.
Right.
But American musicals are sort of very different, where the music just sort of continues. They sing, they dance, they talk. And La La Land is a salute to, you know, many of the classic ones. So I think it should do very, very well today.
And it did, you know, big up a lot of awards, you know, at the Golden Globes. You know, does Hollywood always like making movies about Hollywood? And is that why that typically wins? Or what is it about La La Land that has really won the masses over?
It's a very difficult film to make. I mean, you know, Hollywood doesn't make musicals anymore. And I think that's very important to understand that out of nowhere, this film comes out. It took a long time to get made. It took a long time to be financed. It's got two wonderful actors, Ryan Gosling, and chemistry is phenomenal. Young director. He's only 32 years old. He's from New Jersey, and if he wins, and I have a strong feeling he will win. He's expected to win. He'll be the youngest director to win the Best Director Oscar. But it's the energy of the film. It's a narrative. It's looking at Los Angeles with the backdrop of jazz and the, you know, the singing and dancing, and it's a romantic story, and it's about heartbreak and love, and everybody can connect to that.
And without giving it away too much, but it also doesn't have a typical Bollywood ending, so I think it also appeals to everybody, where there is a little bit of a reality to movies like this.
I think those kind of movies actually are much more romantic.
Exactly. Right. Absolutely. Well, what about some of the other films? You know, we have Dev Patel, British Indian. He was in Slumdog Millionaire, now in Lion, and he's been nominated. I'm not sure if you've seen that movie.
I've seen Lion, yes.
Thoughts on, you know, how he fared and how he
I think Dev Patel has come a long way from the time when he did Slumdog Millionaire, and then there was a time he was struggling for a while his former girlfriend Frida Pinto was doing very well in the career. He did really well in two films, the Marigold Hotels, you know, the exotic Marigold Hotels, and that sort of you know, pushed his name. This definitely is his strongest performance. But let's not forget that there's a little kid in the film, Sunny Pawar. And by the way, Lion is running in theaters in India. People should go see it.
Absolutely.
It's a very likable film. I mean, I will be surprised if people don't cry in the end. It just makes you weep and weep and weep.
Right.
Dev Patel has been nominated. That's excellent. I'm very, very happy for him. I don't think he's going to win. Now, I could be proven wrong.
Right. Why is that? Why don't you?
Because this gentleman called Mahershala Ali from Moonlight has got a far, far better chance of winning, and has been winning the Best Supporting Actor awards practically everywhere. So let's see.
We'll have to wait and watch. And real quickly, you know, in terms of diversity, there's been a lot of criticism in the years past. The Oscars, so white, where there wasn't that diversity. And, you know, interestingly, this year there's a lot more people of more representation, African Americans, Indian Americans, or British Americans. More sort of diversity on the table. And do you think that was, to some extent, perhaps they didn't want to get criticized, given that what is already going on in the political spectrum?
Definitely, there has something to do with that. But we also have to understand this is a year where there happen to be such strong films that dealt with African American community. Moonlight, as we were talking about, came out of nowhere at the Telluride Film Festival in Toronto, and people fell in love with it. Fences, which is based on a very well-known play directed by Denzel Washington, and Denzel is up for a nomination, Best Actor. there are, out of the 5 documentaries nominated, 3 deal with the African-American situation in America. There's one called O.J. Simpson Made in America, one's called 13, one's called I'm Not Your Negro. So definitely.
The whole race relations is a huge
yes,
integral part of that.
you know, there are 3 African-American actors who are definitely bound to win, I think. There are quite a few African-Americans who have been nominated. First, rare case of an African-American director who's been nominated. First time an African-American has been nominated in the editing category.
Right. Right. You know, somebody also brought up this point, which I think you might be able to sort of shed light on with regards to best actor, best actress. Somebody brought up a good analogy. If they are an actor, why does that gender matter? And I don't know if you've ever thought about this, but you know, for director and any of the other awards, it isn't broken down by men and women. So somebody said, why is there a best actor and best supporting actor for men and women? If they're acting, shouldn't it be judged on pure acting? Why does their gender come in? I mean, is that...
We have to give more awards. You know, every film has to have a hero and a heroine.
Fair enough, fair enough. So you're still saying you're okay with...
I think I'm perfectly
the more
okay.
the better, the more the merrier.
Yeah.
All right, Asim, we'll come back with you and check in and see as we get those results. We hope we try to bring them to you. Let's take a look at the nomination that you are on the screen. Actresses in a leading role. We have quite a few there. Natalie Portman, Emma Stone, Meryl Streep, Ruth Negga, and Isabella Huppert. So all of these awards will be coming in throughout their night, of course, our morning here in New Delhi. So we will cut in and out when we can, and as we get those awards, we will try to bring them to you live here on WION. All right, we're going to come back now, take a quick break, but we'll be right back with much more news right after this. Stay with us here on WION.
I'm wondering if